Hey everybody, it's Mike Young, lifestyle nutritionist. Welcome to chapter 136 of my book, Live to 150. This one is on spending time out in nature. And you know, I'm not in nature. I'm actually in a little studio here. It's a closet studio. It's the smallest thing you've ever imagined. You'd have no idea, but it's great for sound and just blocking out all other sounds and absorbing sounds too, actually, where I am in the room that I am. I'm not in nature. I am standing up though. And remember, I talked about how sitting is the new smoking. So you got to make sure you stand up. The modern method of employment for most people in front of screens and sitting down is not cutting it. Neither is indoors. You got to get outdoors. Now we're moving into a time when digital service is going to be available literally everywhere. Like I find that my therapy, this is almost like a form of therapy, getting outdoors is best not just when you step outdoors. It's not just outdoors in general, but nature, outdoors into nature, not into a busy street. Even if you're in a little green space of a tiny little park and there's cars whizzing by and you're hearing brakes, you're hearing people honk at each other, you're breathing in exhaust fumes if they're not using electric vehicles. You know what I'm talking about. It's not pleasant, okay? Especially if you're in the full sun. That's why I don't even like to go lay out on the beach. It's too much sun. You're going to destroy yourself. Don't do that. But I love being, if you're in an area where you can have filtered sun or on more of a cloudy day, you can be outside anywhere. But I also love like really remote mountain trails in forested areas. So I don't think I'd ever do well in the desert Southwest. There's relentless sun. Okay, you got to have a balance. You got to do it right. So when I say connect with nature, that's what I'm talking about. And I'm also talking about quiet. I think that when things are very quiet, it's again a form of therapy. And I mean a real quiet, like you're in nature quiet. So you'll hear a few rustling leaves or a few squirrels kind of running around out there, whatever. And it resets your hearing because you start to really pick up the nuances of what's going on, because in modern society, it's nonstop. It's constant. Everything's loud compared to just nature on its own. Most times when you get into some areas that are very natural, not disturbed by humans, it's a different level of sound, and you hear everything. You wonder, we know why these animals can pick up sounds better than us. I don't know, they've been conditioned to that, right? And their life depends on it. And nature also is raw. Nature is rough. That's another thing. You kind of get challenged too. And it's important to challenge your body. And a lot of times you just can't do that when you're in a conditioned interior space. Your body isn't challenged at all. And you got all the comforts. You're living the American dream, but you are suffering. You're actually on a downward spiral in almost every aspect of your health. That's the problem, okay? So in order to keep that up, maybe you want to live somewhere where there are green trails, greenways. Denise and I go on a lot of those around where we live in the warm months here up in the DC area. And other areas like Raleigh, they've got a lot of green space, or just trails. We just go out in the middle of nature, go out on our own, by ourselves. The less humans, the better, as far as I'm concerned. That's the real nature. You're really out there, and you need to experience that on a regular basis. I do think you need to. I don't think it's like key to the lifestyle. I don't think it's key to long life, because like we talked about before, 80-20 principle. And in this case, the 20% of the things that you do that give you 80% of the results are just the food. And that's chapter 42. But this is very important too. This is also important. I mean, if you were doing everything right and you were living indoors in a totally sterile environment and you never experienced nature, I think that, and a lot of people do that, they're in the matrix, put the headset on, the VR goggles or whatever, and they're in the matrix. I think we're like moving to a time when, digital service is going to be ubiquitous, even out in the middle of BFE on the side of a mountain, where there's only 2 people that live in that county or whatever. It won't matter. You just use your cell phone to hook up the Starlink or whatever, or bring your Starlink dishy with you, and boom, there you go. You can work. And maybe you can even get to the point where you can put those VR goggles on or something. I don't know, maybe not VR, but you can see nature, you can experience nature, yet still do your work while you're totally in like an unbelievably remote area of nature. I'm just envisioning this and making this up as I talk here. Do you think this is cool? Let me know in the comments. Let me know how you experience nature in the comments. Let me know if you even think experiencing nature is important. What happens if you don't? Do you know anybody that never does and they're better off? Let me know too. I want to consider all the different options. So thank you so much for staying with us in this chapter. We're getting close to the end of the book, and you almost know it all. So you should be happy about that. Be sure to give us the thumbs up, the like for the video, so that we can appear better in the YouTube algorithm, get the message out to the world so that everybody can hear this stuff at no cost to them. And of course, subscribe so you get notified when the next chapter is out. Bye-bye.